Good morning, sports fans. Saturday, July 3rd, 2010. You're listening to the Cheap Seats on 96.3 WLCN. We're out here at Graue Incorporated today. My name is Cameron Kurtz, and this gentleman sitting to my right, Jake Johnston, the furniture guy, and Jake will be sitting in for Josh Komnick today. Josh has a wedding that he's going to this weekend, an out-of-town wedding. His brother Ryan is getting married, so congratulations to the Komnick family. But Jake's decided that he would sit in with me this morning, and we've got a whole agenda of topics to discuss this morning. Big week in sports going on, Jake. You had the NBA free agency going on. You have quite a few area baseball teams struggling to,
struggling.
Struggling. That's probably the best word for it. We'll be discussing those standings in the NL Central here in a few minutes. And we've also got quite a few stories coming out of the world of tennis, out of the world of golf, and quite a few local stories that I'm sure a lot of our listeners will be interested in about. But right now it is time for that trivia question. We got prizes to give away for that. 2 free tickets to Knights Action Park. And Jake and I, during the break, we were both commenting that what a great weekend that would be for that. It's supposed to be pretty warm and sunny most of the weekend. Beautiful weather forecast. So if you do have the correct answer to this question, be the first one to correctly call in. 648-5510 is the number to call, 648-5510. So make sure you have that on your speed dial if you don't have it plugged in already. Here is today's question. It's a baseball-related question. Felt that, it seemed fitting with baseball season.
Absolutely.
Anyway, name the only Major League Baseball team to win 2 World Series in the 1980s. So go back to the 1980s. There was only one Major League Baseball team to win 2 World Series titles in the 1980s. Be the first caller with that correct answer, 648-5510, and you will pick up a pair of tickets to Knights Action Park. Jake, we're going to go ahead and jump in to what we were discussing about before the break. Said that we had a lot of things to talk about, but one thing that we have to talk about is the Arizona Diamondbacks. Kirk Gibson is now their new manager. Just kind of something that was a long time coming. The Diamondbacks decided, last couple of years we've had teams that have been kind of so-so, on and off.
Well, and unfortunately for Gibson, it's with the Diamondbacks this year.
Well, and he brings...
This isn't 2001 anymore.
Gibson brings, instant credibility. I mean, you hear the name Kirk Gibson, and you just can't help but remember everything that he has done.
I don't believe what I just saw.
Well, it's yeah, exactly. Much needed attitude adjustment to the Arizona clubhouse. If they can cut down that string of strikeouts and blown leads that they've had.
Well, they can just kill the ball. I mean, they've got guys that can absolutely crush the ball. They live and die by the home run. No pitching. They got Danny Herron, who's a 400 batter, maybe the best hitter on the team.
Don't you wish the Cardinals still have
Oh, my goodness. Well, at least we got Mark Mulder for a half season.
Yeah. Still paying on Mulder.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, that sounder means that we do have a caller. Caller, go ahead. Do you have an answer for our trivia question?
Just a guess. New York Yankees?
It is not the New York Yankees. That is a very good guess, though.
It's a nice try.
That was a good guess. That would have been one of the guesses that I would have had, but that is not it. If you do have the correct answer for that, go ahead and call in 648-5510. Here after a while, if nobody gets it, we may have to give away a hint, but that's still open to anyone. Getting back, talking about the Diamondbacks and their new manager, he's got a pretty impressive resume when it comes to baseball. Includes 17 years as a player. He has that reputation for being tough, kind of being a little rough around the edges a little bit.
A little edgy.
Just a little bit, but kind of hoping to, whip them back into shape and hoping to get the Diamondbacks,
Well, and sometimes with a lot of teams, it just takes something to get the fire started. They're in a division that, San Diego's really done a good job with, really trying to pull away from the pack, but they've got players in place. Edwin Jackson, Dan Herron in the starting lineup. Brandon Webb's going to be coming back, hopefully, for them by the end of the year. And they could have a couple players that could make a difference on that team and actually get them in contention because, let's face it, the National League's kind of weak in everything but the top tier. they could make a run at a wild card.
And even in the NL West division that they're in, it's
Same thing. It's very much like the Central, actually.
We have another caller. Caller, go ahead. You're in the cheap seats.
The Dodgers, 81-88.
That is the correct answer. You nailed it right on the head. You even got the years correct, too. The Los Angeles Dodgers were the only team in Major League Baseball to win 2 World Series in the 1980s, 1981 and 1988. You know, we got on the Kirk Gibson story too quickly.
Absolutely.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's 1988, of course, Kirk Gibson was the hero in that World Series. What's your name, caller?
That's right.
Can we have your name?
Howie.
Oh, Howie, come on.
Sorry.
That's all right, Howie. You have won 2 free tickets to tonight's Action Park. You can go ahead and pick them up here at Graue Incorporated on Kickapoo Street. Pick them up today if you would. That way you get a chance to enjoy them for the 4th of July weekend. And Howie, thanks for calling in. Good to hear from you.
Hey, you bet.
All righty. Howie did get that correct answer. And, of course, later on in the show, we'll have a couple other prizes to give away. But getting off the Diamondback story and then kind of jumping in with news a little bit closer to home, Carlos Zambrano, you can't go the show without talking about Carlos Zambrano. Of course, that big meltdown that he had, that big blow-up, screaming match with Derek Lee.
Well, I think they said something about putting him in the bullpen when he gets back.
Why?
Yeah, I mean, boy, it's hard to find a place for that right now, isn't it? Just a turbulent situation. I mean, there's so many different ways they can go. Unfortunately, with Carlos Zambrano, there's no good way to go.
Well, he's been a head case from day one, and perhaps I'm just saying this because you and I are both Cardinal fans, but there are quite a few Cub fans out there that would probably agree with us. Zambrano's been a little bit of a problem child these last couple of years, especially this year. He's got out of the starting rotation. They put him in the bullpen. Had a little trouble finding his niche, even in the bullpen.
Well, but you know the thing about the blow-up the other day, I thought that was great because, like the announcer said, they were playing dead. They were a dead ball club.
It does give some spark back to the team, and that's what
the problem was. He directed it. You can't direct it at a Gold Glover,
right? Well,
you know.
Well, if you want to direct it at anyone, direct it at the whole team.
At the whole team.
Don't necessarily single out one guy because. I know these players are making millions of dollars, and when a mistake is made, yeah, sometimes you need to call them out on it. That's fine. But it's a little bit harder to point a finger at, someone else when you're not necessarily on top of the world yourself, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Well, as a Cardinal fan, I mean, it's easy to point at Cub players,
well, of course.
Which is great. I mean, let's just face it, that's awesome.